Hello, good evening, and welcome to News 360 live from the News Hub here in Accra. My name is Esi Benewa Otu.
My name is Amoni. We have the headlines for tonight coming up shortly. Please stay with us.
Government of Southern Sudan calls for independent inquiry into conduct of 46 Ghanaian police officers accused of sexual exploitation.
And Food and Drugs Authority to investigate importation and distribution of glutathione's drug. That's a kind of drug abuse being used by women.
In other news, Ghana Armed Forces Special Task Force on Rivers destroyed tipper trucks belonging to sand winners.
And in Kenya, hospital staff members suspended following wrongman brain surgery. We have these including sports and entertainment coming up this hour. Stay with us as we bring you the details shortly. And beginning our news tonight, the government of South Sudan has called for an independent inquiry into the conduct of 46 Ghanaian police officers who allegedly sexually exploited women and girls under the UN's protection in Juba. A statement issued by the Foreign Affairs Ministry also cautioned the UN mission not to allow the police officers to return home until the investigations are completed. Reacting to the request by the South Sudan government, security and safety expert Adams Bona urged the UN to bring officers found culpable to book.
It didn't specifically mention Ghana, but you realize the 46 unanimous, officers have been pulled to Juba. And so they are praying that the UN would not export them out of, out of South Sudan or out of Sudan. Okay. They want thorough investigations to be conducted. But it is also refreshing to note that when finally the UN took some form of action, the Ghana police didn't also arrest. What they did, well, I'm aware they wrote to the UN requesting to send three observer team to to join the investigation. And I'm also aware, that the UN has granted them that right to send 3 people. And I'm also aware that this week, the 3 police officers who are supposed to go and aid with the investigation will be departing the shores of this country to go and aid with the investigations. I am praying that at the end of the day, if our officers who are involved would be exonerated, but if not all of them are exonerated, those who are found to be culpable should be punished, I'm sure, by international laws, and probably that of Southern Sudan.
And a team of military personnel have destroyed 14 tipper trucks and 1 excavator belonging to some sand winners in the northern region. The trucks were set ablaze by a military team who arrived at Dalong, a suburb of Kumbungu, about 10 p.m. after the owners defied a 1-week ultimatum given by the RECSEC when they visited the site on December 11, 2017, after a report was made by the Ghana Water Company. The 1-week ultimatum ended on December 12, 2017, but the operators did not budge as they continued to win sand from the river. This complete disregard of the 1-week ultimatum compelled RECSEC to storm the site on the evening of Saturday, February 3, 2018, 3 months after the ultimatum elapsed. Meanwhile, the Association of Tipper Truck Owners in Tamale have indicated they will embark on a demonstration later today. All right. You're on News 360, and we'll be speaking to Member of Parliament for Kumbungu constituency in the northern region, Ras Mubarak. Good evening, Honorable, if you can hear us on the telephone.
Yes, good evening. Thank you very much indeed.
Right. What do you know about this action by the military?
It came to my attention yesterday, and I feel very distraught about it, and also quite disappointed, especially when we have moved as a country away from the black and white era of the 70s and 80s, where the military acted with impunity. There's the Minerals Act of Ghana, which is Act 900, and the Act provisions as to exactly what happens should people violate provisions of the Act. And if you would permit me, I would just read Section 5, 6, and 7 of the Act. It provides that where a person is arrested for an offense under subsection 3 or 4, any equipment used in or associated with the commission of the offense shall, regardless of ownership of the equipment or product, be seized and kept in the custody of the police. And so clearly, there's nowhere in the Mining Act that says that if someone were to violate the Act, you have to go and burn down their equipment and property. You know, you don't solve an act of lawlessness by perpetuating another act of lawlessness.
Right. So, Honorable, what were the options available at the time that the military burned the vehicles? I mean, did you think that the warnings were enough?
The law is very specific. You arrest them, you seize their equipment, you put them before a court of law, and if the court so finds them guilty, the Act provides that the state impounds the confiscated equipment and releases those equipment within 6 months to one of the agencies of government. That's what the Act says, Act 900. You know, so to have gone ahead and burned, you know, our property belonging to, you know, people who are supposedly violating the law clearly is another act of illegality. And I'm saying we can't build a country like that. You can't, you know, build a country by perpetuating acts of illegality. The laws are there. RegSec would have to adhere to it. Security officers would have to adhere to it. And we are beginning to see a penchant for destruction of, you know, our property, especially by the military, which is very, very disappointing. I'm a Barracks boy. I've got enormous admiration and respect for the military. But on this score, I think they got it completely wrong. And the time has come for the state to set examples and to make examples of institutions that break the law. I mean, they are supposed to be enforcing the law.
Right.
Why did Parliament pass Act 900?
But Ras Mubarak, are you not emboldening them by supporting them openly? Yes, we agree we don't subscribe to the destruction of property.
I haven't declared support for any one person. I'm just speaking on a matter of law. And I'm saying that the laws are clear, that if someone broke the law, this is how you deal with a person. It's in the Act. So if they are allegedly breaking the law, you deal with them as prescribed by the Act. You don't go ahead and perpetuate another illegality. What they are creating, currently there's a lot of tension. The tipper truck drivers are threatening demonstrations. Nobody knows how it's going to turn up. And we know that the northern is a very volatile region, you know, and that everybody would have to be guarded in their activities, you know, so that we don't threaten the peace and security that we all enjoy within the region. I find it very unfortunate, and I think not only does the defense minister have questions to answer, but the regional minister ought to answer some questions as well as to exactly who gave these orders for them to do what they did yesterday. So
finally, would you take legal action against the military?
I'm raising the issue before Parliament when Parliament resumes. And then also we're also encouraging the owners of the tipper trucks to seek redress, not to take the laws into their own hands, but to seek redress within the remit and ambit of the laws.
Right. Thank you very much. Ras Mubarak is the Member of Parliament for Kumbungu. AC.
Let's move on and do other stories now. And top chief executives of Whitaker Group of American companies have commended President Akufo-Addo for his exemplary role in the management of Ghanaian economy and pledged to invest in the country. At the group's 15th anniversary celebration in Washington, D.C., President Akufo-Addo also received Exemplary Leadership Award for being an inspiration to the world.
Even though the Whitaker Group, founded in 2003, has facilitated several billions of dollars in investment projects and capital flows across Africa and recently started making direct investment in African companies. Commending President Akufo-Addo for transforming the Ghanaian economy, the various CEOs pledged to support and build a resilient economy in Ghana. President Akufo-Addo said his government is resolved to improve the living conditions of ordinary Ghanaians.
We have no illusions whatsoever about the nature of the task we face, but I know that Ghanaians will rise to the occasion. They always do. The Black Star is going to shine and shine and shine.
The president charged colleague African leaders to take advantage of the 21st century and its enormous opportunities.
The achievements here testify vividly to the resilience of the African and our determination to survive no matter the odds. Africans here, Africans in the Americas, Africans on the continent. Together we shall overcome.
The group presented President Akufo-Addo with the Exemplary Leadership Award for his pioneering leadership and inspiration to the world.
You're on News 360, and let's turn to some other stories, which are quite interesting tonight. Let's look at it this night. And dermatology professor Edmond Dele says the action of women who take pills in order to lighten the skins of their unborn babies constitute human rights abuse. Professor Dele described the development as a crime and called on Parliament to outlaw the practice.
Even though comprehensive data has not been gathered, market surveillance and stakeholder activity have revealed the trend among women causes socio-economic divides. Medical experts say these illegal drugs can cause birth defects, including damage to limbs and internal organs. Adjunct Professor of Dermatology, University of Development Studies, Tamale, and the Director, Chief Physician and Consultant Dermatologist at the Rabito Clinic, Professor Edmond Dele, was alarmed at the development.
But what? Why do you do that to a baby unborn who or she or he cannot decide for himself or herself? So I think I find it something which is so unethical that we must all rise up and fight against the right of the unborn baby.
Professor Dele cannot imagine why women would choose to change the destiny of the unborn child and some of the likely consequences of the action.
The fetus will not be given the opportunity to bring out a normal baby because they are destroyed right from the beginning. So instead of seeing a fair child coming up, you see a child with defects, without a limb, without an eye, with deformity of the head or any part of the body. So it is a very, very dangerous thing to do.
The specialist dermatologist thinks it is a criminal offense and wants Parliament to outlaw the practice.
The lawmakers in Parliament, anyone who can come out strongly with a voice to say that, please, this is a practice that we must stop or encourage our women to stop. It's a very serious matter. Now it's going as far as to damage the future leaders of our country.
Professor Dele called on society to come together in order to ensure that baby bleaching does not become another social canker.
Interesting developments there. Still on bleaching, meanwhile, the Food and Drugs Authority has begun multi-sectoral investigations into the importation and distribution of the pills allegedly being abused by women. The head of Cosmetics and Household Chemical Substance Department of the authority, Emmanuel Nkrumah, has affirmed that the pills in question are neither registered nor licensed for use in Ghana.
About some pregnant Ghanaian women taking in pills to make their unborn babies have lighter complexion has come as a shock to many. The rationale for engaging in the practice is equally beyond comprehension for those who abhor it. The pills are smuggled into the country and are neither registered nor licensed by the Food and Drugs Authority.
Once the product is not approved to be placed on the Ghanaian market, it's not supposed to be on the market in the first place. And it's not supposed to be placed on the market for anybody to buy it and use it, because we cannot vouch for the safety of this.
Emmanuel Nkrumah is head of Cosmetics and Household Chemical Substance Department at the Food and Drugs Authority.
There are samples that are in our possession. We are collaborating with the security agencies to try to get to the bottom of it, know the source. We know that these products are coming from abroad, beyond the shores of Ghana. And people are bringing them in also through unapproved routes.
The Food and Drugs Authority says using glutathione pills for this purpose is dangerous.
You don't take any medication anyhow, even medicines, even some over-the-counter medicines. And medicines that may be useful for the pregnant woman for a particular reason may not be taken anyway, anyhow. Because anything you take in, even if it's approved, but you don't take the right doses, can affect the unborn baby. And pregnant women patronizing such products becomes a health risk and a danger to both the mother and the baby.
The effort now is to identify the sources of supply and distribution and those using it.
Well, very disturbing. Issa, I don't know how this news got to you. In fact, it was a shock to me. You know, knowing very well that even in your first trimester or when you are pregnant, some of these, not some, doctors are very cautious in giving you even medicines when you go with various, complaints.
You're
to the
right.
extent that these women will go to the markets by themselves.
It's strange to think that, because we are in the internet of things now, so they may get the information on the internet or, somewhere else, and they are using it. But what I know is that, when a child threatens the life of the mother, the life of the child is terminated. But exactly. I don't know the other way around. If a woman or a mother threatens the life of an unborn baby, what the law says.
I think
we'll test that in the law.
I strongly agree with Dr. Edmond Dele that
right.
It is human rights abuse.
Absolutely.
And, they must be dealt with.
Right. We're on News 360, and the issues keep coming up. Let's turn to fisheries right now. The Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture has urged industrial trawlers to ensure strict adherence to the rules governing fishing. Sector Minister Elizabeth Naa-Afo-Lekwe gave the advice during the lifting of the 2-month ban on closed fishing season for this year at Tema.
Fish stock has been blamed on a number of illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing activities and overexploitation. After considering reports of several studies and research findings into the issue, the government, through the Fisheries Commission and Fisheries Ministry, has introduced a closed season for industrial trawlers as a measure to replenish the fish stock. Minister of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, Elizabeth Naa-Afo-Lekwe, in lifting the 2-month ban at the Tema Fishing Harbour, said the time has come for all to ensure the future of the industry. She praised the trawler operators for observing the season, but urged them to always be citizens and not spectators in helping to protect the fish stock.
This is a feather in our cap, and as Ghanaians, we have to continue doing good work. We have to do safe fisheries. We have to observe environmentally friendly fishing.
Elizabeth Naa-Afo-Lekwe also acknowledged the role of the Fisheries Enforcement Task Force tasked to ensure compliance. The minister later inspected the trawlers for proper maintenance and improved conditions to ensure safety. President of the Ghana Industrial Trawlers Association, GITA, Amprechum Boateng, said the close season was a good initiative and hoped for a good catch in return.
Once we've closed the season, it will inure to our benefit. At the moment, we are expecting that when we go, we get bumper catches. That is what we are expecting at the moment.
Amprechum Boateng, however, appealed for fishing license fees waiver during the closed season period.
To some security issues now, and the Volta Regional Peace Council says mistrust is a major setback to peace building between Alavanyo and the Nkonya. The chairman of the council, the Reverend Seth Mauto, told the two communities there can be no peace unless they have confidence in each other and avoid being suspicious of one another. This was at a meeting of the Regional Peace Council with both communities separately over the formation of a mediation committee.
The 90-year-old conflict between the people of Nkonya and Alavanyo continue to claim lives from both sides without any end in sight. It is common to see the two communities blaming one another at every opportunity of being the cause of the prolonged conflict. These accusations took the center stage once again at a recent meeting with the two communities on nominations into a consultative council on peace for the area.
There
is no other interpretation when the people of Nkonya laid ambush in our backyard. Once a man targets a gun at you, the only reason is that he wants to kill you. You need not to ask him why he's aiming at you.
We have a boundary with Bori. We have a boundary with Central Kofi. We have a boundary with Akbavo. We have a boundary with B. And we have a boundary with Pando. We have not been fighting. Why is it that only Nkonya and Alavanyo?
The continuous lack of trust between the feuding parties did not go down well with members of the Regional Peace Council. The chairman of the council, Reverend Seth Mauto, insisted that, much as everyone would love to see lasting peace, there is the need to remind the people of Alavanyo and Nkonya that they are fundamental in ensuring that peace.
Peace flows from within. Every individual of us over here, we must allow peace to flow from within. Then we can be at peace with everybody. So please, let's give peace a chance.
Other members of the Peace Council took turns to admonish the two parties to work at forgetting the past in a bid to deepen the peace process for the future.
We can do something about peace. Nobody is going to put peace on a silver platter and to come and give to Nkonya or to give to Alavanyo. It is going to be a commitment. We have pledged that enough is enough, and from now we are saying no.
In peace building, if you don't get the blocks, which is the conflict parties, willing and agree that something different should be done than the way things were done previously. There is nothing that, even if we're 1,000, we are only 5 here. It's not possible if the conflicting parties who are the blocks, the trust is not there.
An 18-member representation from the two sides were selected at the end of the two meetings to represent the two communities at the Consultative Council to be inaugurated before the end of March in Ho.
From Alavanyo, let's talk about another battle. This time it's a smaller one, though. Embattled Deputy General Secretary of the NPP, Nana Ubribuahin, has apologized to the President and the New Patriotic Party for what he describes as his indiscretion in making unsavory comments about the NPP. In a widely circulated, leaked tape, the Deputy General Secretary of the NPP alleged the presidency allocated 50 billion cedis towards the 2017 NPP National Delegates Conference. He told TV3 the purported recording was fraudulently doctored.
Just that I should behave responsibly and as a mature person. I think that this highly doctored, highly mutilated, highly mimicked, fraudulently recorded, secretly recorded, the content thereof, and whatever circumstances, I think that to be fair and reasonable to render an unqualified apology.
Are you saying that it was uttered? Was it not your voice that was on that tape?
I don't want to go into the details. I'm saying that it's highly doctored, fraudulently mutilated, highly mimicked, voice mimicked, secretly recorded. That is all.
Is this a ploy to escape disciplinary action from the party?
No, I'm saying I'm a human being. I'm a short person. I have advisors, I've counseled. Please, I don't want to go to details. It's okay. That is all.
In other news, the Bolgatanga Regional Museum in the Upper East region seems to have lost its importance due to low visitor patronage by tourists and researchers. This is due to the absence of resources to equip the museum with historical materials. As part of TV3's Ghana Month celebration, we take a look at how the situation is affecting tourism in the country.
The museum was established in 1972 and installed at its current location in 1991 by the Ghana National Commission on Culture. The museum aims to preserve the material culture of the three northern regions while educating the populace, especially the youth, on the need to protect and remember their local heritage. Exhibits in the museum include local poetry, paintings, archaeological objects such as terracotta figurines, musical instrument, jewelry, weapons, chiefs' possessions, carved dark wood stools, and bronze ancestral vases. The museum also offers tourists the opportunity to see other sites of interest in these regions. We caught up with the Upper East Regional Principal Curator of the Museums and Monuments Board, Francis Ayi Amo, to find out the reasons for the low patronage and the operations of the museum.
Generally, Ghanaians don't really know much about the museum, and that is a very big challenge. So for us here, what we try to do is to use our education department to go to schools. But we believe that if you're able to get the school children, they will send the message across to their parents will send it to some other colleagues. So it's like more or less you have free publicity there.
The museum has not been renovated since its establishment. It was confirmed by the manager, adding that lack of logistics like vehicles to aid in research work and the lack of internally generated funds were making it difficult to run the museum.
Most of these challenges are replicated in other regional museums and even the head office in Accra. So if the government could come in to help us with funding and vehicles, and in fact not only the government, I'm also expecting corporate bodies to lend a helping hand, for instance, to help us be able to bring back some of our objects that are broken down, and also help us to work on the building, which has a lot of cracks.
The regional curator appealed for some of the important items that had broken over the years to be rehabilitated to attract more tourists to the museum.
You're on News 360 right now. Yes, we're going to talk
about
Ghana,
yes. So yes. We are wearing Ghana today.
Celebrate Ghana. Eat Ghana, know Ghana, watch Ghana, move around the country. That's why I'm in Fugu today, and I'm sure AC is also something beautiful showing that. This is Ghana. You're on News 360. We will return shortly.
Hello and welcome to Mission. Mission is sponsored by Star Ghana. Mission is brought to you by, funded by UN, USAID, Danida, and UK Aid. Let's do our very first story. And teachers in the Kachenlendo community in the Kwandai district of the northern region have devised means of solving the school's numerous challenges in the face of slow response in the plight. Pupils are used on farms to raise money to support the school. A worried teacher, Eric, says that is the only way the school can function due to inadequate support for its activities.
It's a hazy Tuesday morning. The sounds of birds show a new day at the Kachelendo DA Basic School farm. Pupils are supposed to be in school, but cannot be done. Rather, they are at the school's farm working. An earlier rain means good time to work on the farm. The boys are preparing 2 acres of yam mounds, while the girls and kindergarten pupils collect the residues after burning the cleared weeds. They are supervised by 2 of their teachers. No school today. That's on the lips of all the kids. Head teacher Eric Hunkpe explains why the children engage in the farming activities.
I have tried visiting the office on several occasions, and then we were told any point in time where they will get the furniture, they will supply us some. Then, since it's not forthcoming, we are in a farming community, we thought it wise to see if we can use that avenue to raise some money to purchase some of this furniture. So I discussed it with the PTA, and then they also agreed and contributed some yam sets for us. We were raising yam mounds to plant the yams. Maybe, God willing, next season we may get some yield, and then we will use it to see if we can mold some of the dexes for the pupils.
Are authorities at the district aware of this?
They've reshuffled the CS. So the former one was informed, and then he's aware of it. But then the current one is the one I have not briefed about it.
Let's go! The district chief executive for Kwandai, Emmanuel Tatablata, disagrees with the exploitation of the children.
I am not aware, and I have to also find out from the director of education whether that school has been absorbed by government.
He said the assembly will soon intervene. The next day, the mission team went back to the school when classes were in session to ascertain the claims by the teacher.
So you are going to take them one after the other. This is 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
The Kachelendo DA Basic School was established as a community school, but was absorbed by government in 2014, but remains very deprived. The whole school has 3 classroom blocks and a pavilion, which accommodates pupils from KG to upper primary 6. KG 1 and 2 occupy 1 class, classes 1 and 2, and 3 and 4 also being merged in the remaining classrooms, while class 5 and 6 pupils occupy the pavilion. The school has no teaching and learning materials as well as furniture.
For the classes that lie on the floor, as you can see, our classes are not even floored. So where will you put the book before you even write? So you can only do oral assessment when it comes to those classes.
KG pupils sit and learn how to write on the floor, but the difficulty in doing that each day, we were told, has discouraged most pupils from enrolling in the school. They have not seen a slate before, and so much of the day's learning is focused on reciting poems.
A lion has a tail. It has a big head. And a very small waist.
For some combined classes, they are fortunate to sit on broken pieces of desk.
A small dog.
This is the ordeal that pupils of this school endure daily, all in the name of seeking for education. This class, I'm told, accommodates class 1 and 2 pupils, but due to inadequate furniture, they are compelled to sit on broken pieces of desk, and this serves only those who come to school early in the morning. If a pupil comes to school very late, they are compelled to sit right behind me on the floor, and they do all their day's activity on the floor. Some pupils share one exercise book and pencil. Poverty is high in this part of the Pandai district. The school has no approved textbooks and supply of chalk. Stakeholders must consider prioritizing the needs of the Kachilendo DA Basic School to enable pupils achieve Goal 4 of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Stanley Niblewu, TV3 News, Kachilendo.
It has a big head and a very small waist.
Still on education, the neglect and lack of attention to the education of persons with disability is slowing efforts of integrating them into society. Basic equipment for training these persons are not available. At the One Methodist School for the Blind, the neglect is alarming as teachers struggle to teach.
Like terms. What are they doing?
It is a difficult life, one that is not normal. They are at a disadvantage, but many have landed here. Some can partially see, while others are totally blind. They are here to acquire education, but it is a dream that comes with a lot of difficulty. The children are disadvantaged. The kindergarten classes are worse off. This is what they have. I'm trying to move it around, quite a difficult one. That's not all. They have this one here. This is what we call the swing or the seesaw, if you want to call it that. Not in a very good shape, but this is what they have. But hey, the dangerous of them all, the most dangerous, is this slide here. This is what you see, metal, with a huge hole in here. Kids are supposed to sit on this and slide down. But certainly, this is not an ideal situation. They simply can't use it. And you can see that for days, months, and perhaps years, it has never been used. The playground tells a tale of neglect.
In fact, nothing for them to play with. We really struggle. There's a time they need just to go out like the sighted children, just to play with things like seesaw. The instruments that the sighted people have as KG, but we don't, none is here. In fact, we struggle.
The school has not even given thought to getting the playground fixed due to the challenges with funding for other equally important activities.
Imagine the person cannot feed, no money to feed such children, then what about their comfortability? So we are still pleading that the government should come into the aid of these disabled people so that at least they are part of the community, they are part of the society. They can also feel that they are being loved, so that their life can go on, because some of them complete. For instance, there's a woman there who completed there and she has come back to teach.
Hundreds of these young ones live on this compound. What will enable them develop themselves is not there.
As they cannot see, without the materials, they will not know the real subject, even though they will know what you are teaching, but they always want to have the feel of the object that or the real thing that you, the teacher, wants the children to grab. And without the materials, they will be doubting.
Problems in the classrooms also curtail academic work. Teachers speak of great worry. They are special children who need special attention, but that special attention is not forthcoming. In fact, parents have even neglected their own. Over 200 children left in conditions that can retard their development. And so, though they are ready to contribute their quota to developing Ghana, certain conditions threaten their development. As they rehearse to take part in the Independence Parade, there's one thing on the minds of these children at the Wa Methodist School for the Blind, and that is what is told by the officials.
I also inquired how the various assemblies where these children are coming from, because they are coming from all over the country. Some are from Upper East, and the districts, the various district assemblies that support these disabled children in the various districts, the common fund that comes in the name of these disabled people, persons, they call their parents and then they give the monies to them, and they don't give any money. As soon as they put the children in the car and they come, that ends it. So sometimes provisions like soap, like toothpaste and other things becomes difficult for them.
Though lucky they find themselves here, school officials say this should not be the end to supporting the disadvantaged. Effort to support unfortunate ones should be increased.
And that's it for Mission, brought to you by Star Ghana with funding from UK Aid, Danida and the European Union. We're back next week with more Mission stories. Take and stay. Our first international story: in Kenya, staff members from nurses to the CEO have been suspended at the Nairobi hospital after the wrong patient underwent brain surgery. One patient needed surgery for a blood clot on the brain and other only non-invasive treatments for swelling. But a horrifying mix-up of identification tags saw the wrong man being operated. The national newspaper reported the doctors did not realize their mistake until hours into the surgery. They then realized there was no blood clot. The patient was also operated on and is recovering. The hospital says, and an investigation is underway. Regulators have demanded a report and plan to hold a hearing. It comes only 6 weeks after the health minister ordered an investigation into claims new mothers were sexually assaulted at the same hospital. Kenya National Hospital CEO Lily Koros said the hospital deeply regrets this event and has done all it can to ensure the safety and well-being of the patients in question. Let's move to Nigeria, where a missing Nigerian masterpiece found in a modest North London flat has sold for more than £1 million sterling at auction.
We're back in a moment with entertainment news.
All right, so it's now time for some entertainment and lifestyle news here with me, Ken Nana Kwejo Ado. Now we're moving on to the big one that happened yesterday. The CEO of Charterhouse, organizers of the annual Ghana Music Awards, Theresa Ayiwade, says any denigration and any unsubstantiated allegations against the award scheme will not be taken lightly. She warned that Charterhouse will not hesitate to seek legal redress if its rights are violated.
No one person can determine who wins an award, organizers included, can determine who wins an award, because we have put in place a system and a process that generates the outcome. And it is my wish and my desire that by the time we are 20 years, we'll stop hearing things like, in the Modema way, in the Manfama way. It's not about comments, it's about voting.
The Vodafone Ghana Music Awards has never been without controversies. Many artists have in the past expressed disappointment after losing out on the award scheme. Dancehall star Shatta Wale is one of them. The controversial artist was in 2014 sued and blacklisted by VGMA organizers Charterhouse for making derogatory statements against the scheme.
You want me, Shatta Wale. You ban. You be music. You know if you can keep talent for you go ban him. Try the ban.
It took several apologies and pleas for Shatta Wale to be nominated again.
I think one of the things that we'll be walking away with tonight is the fact that for this VGMA, one of the major controversies that's been surrounding VGMA, which is the uninclusion of Shatta Wale. This year, the board has been kind enough to pardon Shatta Wale. This year, Shatta Wale is back. Please, can we welcome Shatta Wale back to VGMA?
While encouraging constructive criticism, CEO of Charterhouse, Theresa Ayiwade, said any unsubstantiated claims against the scheme will not be taken lightly.
We would like to encourage continuous constructive criticism of the scheme, and we promise you that our doors are always open to interact and to have discourse and to answer all questions. But what we will not tolerate is abusive language, denigration of the scheme, and scandalous and libelous statements. We will seek legal redress if we feel that our rights are also being violated.
All right, we still stay with the VGMA as a two-time Ghana Music Awards winner. Sarkodie topped the 2018 nominations list, grabbing 8 categories, including the topmost award honors, Artist of the Year. The rapper is closely followed by reigning Artist of the Year Joe Mettle, who secured 7 nominations. Dancehall superstar Shatta Wale and his arch rival Stonebwoy earned 6 nominations each.
Artist of the Year, Joe Mettle.
One day you will know, these are the words of my mouth.
Shatta Wale. Sarkodie.
They can realize, say the groupies and the side chicks or them be lies. They will be kicked.
Stonebwoy.
If you know hustle with me from the beginning.
After a suspense-filled announcement of categories, the VGMA's board on Saturday night announced nominees for the 3 topmost categories: Artist of the Year, Album of the Year, and Song of the Year. The battle lines have now been drawn. Sarkodie, Joe Mettle, the late dancehall songstress Ebony Rains, Shatta Wale, and Stonebwoy will be competing for the ultimate honors 2017 Artist of the Year. At the end of the VGMA's nominees announcement party, rapper Sarkodie grabbed 8 nominations to top the list.
You know I came prepared in all black. Swag and all that. But in the film, and I'm so far back.
The rapper secured places in the Artist of the Year, Song of the Year, and Album of the Year. Reigning VGMA's Artist of the Year, Joe Mettle followed, earning nominations in 7 categories with his 2017 release Bononi.
If you try me, I will be I know so nobody gonna talk, but if me attack, everybody knows it.
After 3 years of being blacklisted, the man who does it clean and dirty, Shatta Wale, is back on the VGMA's nominations list. Shatawale and his label mate Stonebwoy grabbed 6 nominations each, booking places in the Artist of the Year category. The 2017 sensation and the 90s bad girl of blessed memory, Ebony Rains, Davi Hitmaker, Miss V and Odo Singer, Kiddy, and 6 nominations each. The 19th VGMAs will take place at the Accra International Conference Center on April 14, 2018.
All right, so still with the VGMA, as is the big thing, dancehall act Jupiter is unhappy about the scheme's decision to exclude his Clowns record, which won an award in the UK. Moments after the nomination list was released, the Moneybox hitmaker registered his disappointment to his 77,000 Twitter followers. Jupiter's tweet read, "VGMA board, you are all a bunch of hypocrites." I submitted this time, and it was a song that actually won big in UK. Keep it up. And so Jupiter is not happy about the VGMA, and of course we are saying that this is what's happening. Yesterday was the nominations list and all of that. But that's about it for entertainment news. My name is Ken.
We'll keep talking about it in the coming days.
Yeah,
thanks Nana for the entertainment news. And that's all we have for you by way of news this evening. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Esi Benewa Otu.
And mine is Issa Morning. Thank you for watching. Have a great evening.